It is Wednesday, July 2nd, and we got the Magikarp hat on because we are talking about the hottest cards of the week, and we are starting off with a Magikarp. And this is the Magikarp from Paldea Evolved. It's not really a surprise that it's been bouncing back. Recently, we've seen booster box pricing going pretty big as far as Paldea Evolved goes, and naturally, the Magikarp was seeing a lot of attention with PSA 10 prices going big recently. So it looks like we're finally starting to see the rebound of the Magikarp, and this card was up more before, and it was falling. You can see back here, it was as high as 276, fell all the way down to below $200, and now we are just seeing this card start to rebound back up 18% just in the past month alone. So a good rebound for the Magikarp right here. Currently lowest listeds on TCG Player for a near mint copy are around 226 to 230-ish, kind of right at that current market price. Something to keep an eye on. Extremely hard to grade card. On the PSA 10 side, on eBay, last solds are fluctuating a little bit. We're seeing as high as 2,500. Not that long ago, we saw as high as 3,000. But more recently, this is what we've been seeing. Kind of around $2,000. 2,000, 2,000, 1,800, a few at 2,100 crossed out, 2,000. And then somebody got a really good deal a few days ago. This one went for bids at 1,500, which was kind of the old price before the recent attention that we saw. About 1,400, 1,500 for this card. Very hard to grade in a PSA 10, around like a 30% gem rate. So Magikarp looking pretty solid, moving up as far as raw copies go. And it'll be interesting to see kind of where PSA 10s end up after all of this, but a very difficult to grade card. And then we got another Magikarp card making the list here. This is the Magikarp and Wailord alternate full art from Team Up. This is number 161, and this card seeing another jump up 23% in the past 3 months for this card. Just a silly card of the Wailord shooting him up in the air. I absolutely love this card. But this card, crazily enough, like, it's marketed at 456 on TCG Player, but check out these last solds, $600. This is a $600 raw near mint card, and currently lowest listed on TCG is at 700, and then it goes up to 1,000, 1,200, and 1,250. So absolutely crazy. Team Up seems like Team Up cards and Tag Team specifically make the hottest cards of the week every week for the past, I don't know how long. They're always in there now, gaining a lot of popularity. But let's zoom out a little bit and kind of look at this chart. Look at the 1 year. It's just been steadily climbing up almost 80% in the past year. A year ago, $250 card, and now we're seeing $600 to $700 raw sales. We'll jump over and look at PSA 10s. PSA 10s in this have been selling around 2,800, 2,900. You can see if you want to get this art in a 10 in something like Simplified Chinese, you're looking at 250 crossed out. So there are much more affordable copies available. And check this out. Not that long ago, well, it was a while ago actually, December 5th of last year, 650 in a PSA 10. So that was obviously like 6 months ago, 7 months ago now. That's like the raw price of what we're seeing now. So if you can believe it, that's where we're at now. Raw was a PSA 10 7 months ago. So actually that was a while ago. But yeah, so that popping up right here is interesting. $2,500, $2,000. So Magikarp and Wailord from Team Up showing some pretty big gains. And then we got to switch hats here for, we got another Team Up card. Gengar and Mimikyu. This is another one that has been moving up. We got our Gengar going up in value. If look at right here, look at the 3-month chart on this card. 72% in the past 3 months for Gengar and Mimikyu. This is from Team Up number 53. Really cool card, right? And it does make sense why this is kind of going up with all these tag teams going up crazy. Mimikyu popular enough, but Gengar extremely popular. Cool pose, right? 72% growth, right? 3 months ago, this was a $120 card. You look at the 6 month, $88 card, up 143%. You look at the 1 year, it actually was coming down, right? Right here it was 108, came down as low as $50, and now we're seeing 214. Lowest listed's $250 dollars currently for a near mint copy. This is another card that's actually pretty tough to grade. So you know, PSA 10 pop report being a little bit low, and you can see, like, look at these last solds: 1300, 1150, 1150, 1250, 1200, and the 11. So we'll see if this 1300 kind of is the new price point here for some of the more recent sales. Yeah, these are currently reflected, like lowest listeds on eBay are currently kind of at that $1,300 price point for this card in a PSA 10. Now, if we scroll back down, let's go back down to April. April, this is what this card was doing, around 600, 500, 600 in a 10, and now we're seeing double that price since April. So a lot of attention coming back to this card. It definitely was way more affordable back then. And then something else we need to talk about is the Bubble Mew from Paldea Fates. Now, this card just seeing a little bit of a blip, right? A little bit of a tick up right here, and kind of like more of a leveling out. Now, this card's been hit hard. This is from Paldea Fates. This is the special illustration rare, the Bubble Mew, from 330 just in the past 3 months down to under 200. But you got to look at the 6-month chart to see where it was. 420 down to under $300. It looks like it may be leveling off and finally finding that bottom. So that's something to keep an eye on if you were looking at picking up a Bubble Mew. We might be at that price point where it's leveling off. And it does have a very interesting looking chart. Keep in mind that a year ago, this card was very cheap. It's up 252% still on the year. Back here was in the $80 a year ago, an $80 card. Had a shoot up to around 170, kind of hovered there for a little bit, then shot up to around 300 in December, then it cooled off to around 260, and then after that it did its 420 to where we're currently at. So it had been declining since the beginning of the year, about a 6-month decline of it just steadily declining to where it's at now. So something to keep an eye on. However, PSA 10 sales have held up rather well. You can see 1,000, 1,200, 1,000. I'm rounding up a little bit on these ones. You know, it's 1,000, pretty much 1,000, high 900s, 1,050, 1,080, right? I remember towards the beginning of the year going to Collecticon LA, seeing these at I want to say like 800 and 900 in a PSA 10. So these have held up really well when it comes to PSA 10 pricing. So that is something that, while the raw card has been going down, PSA 10s have held up rather well. And then we got, this is a card we talked about a while ago, but it's super sick card. I do like talking about this card. This is the Mewtwo EX number 163 Secret Full Art from Breakthrough. This card's up 95% in the past 3 months. This image on TCG Player, unfortunately, not the best. We'll see it at a little higher resolution when you look at the PSA 10 pricing. But this one has shot up 95% in the past 3 months. And the more you zoom out right here, a year ago, $40 card. Now we're seeing 288% growth. Only one currently listed on TCG Player in a near mint copy for $350. Now, the most recent sale was around $250, so that does kind of make sense. And when you have the only one on the website, you get to name the price and see if it sells. So, well, we'll see if that copy sells. But PSA 10 pricing, very expensive on this card, $2,700 currently was the last sold, and then you got like a 2,900 crossed out. But before that, it was in the 1,200s, 1,200, 1,200, 1,200, 1,100. So seeing a big uptick recently, interesting to see there. So yeah, like a lot of these older cards in PSA 10s, and here's someone who got a real steal not that long ago in May for 1,100, a few for 1,100 comparatively to where we're at now. Crazy to see some of these prices. And then we got some more team ups. Not a surprise, they're just everywhere when it comes to big price increases for the hottest cards. Pikachu and Zekrom full art. This is number 162. This card's up 93% in the past 3 months. going from $50 up to over 100. And you can see most recent sales. Market price is not being accurately reflected on this card. Most recent sales are at 253 and 249. And if we zoom out right here, you can see on the 6-month chart up 113%. In the past year, up 100%. So yeah, it looks like around $50 was the low. And currently lowest listeds are just under $300 on TCG Player. PSA 10s a little bit more affordable than some of the other PSA 10s we've taken a look at. Last sold's all in the $300 range, 350, 370, and 320 on this card. And then even this card, the Pikachu and Zekrom team up number 33, has shot up big recently. You can see it's up 75% in the past 3 months. I think art wise, I definitely prefer this card a lot more. I think it looks a lot better personally, just as a collector. Market price around $36 versus paying $250 for this. I'll take this card all day long just to have on display. I think it looks much better, obviously. But that's just my opinion. Let me know in the comments if you guys agree or disagree with that take. Yeah, I think this card looks way better. But as far as growth goes, 243% in the past 6 months. This was a $10 card. You look at the 1 year, 400%. Looks like a $7 card. So massive growth, 400% to get to around $36. And that's currently what we're seeing as lowest listeds on this card. So a $36 card, currently near mint raw copies. And actually this one seems not too bad. 180 last sold in a 10. But before that, 290, 280, 250, 300, 250, 250 in a PSA 10. So that's still quite a big price increase from a $30-ish card. So you could have about $50 into that card if you get a clean copy and grade it. So it's pretty big turnaround as far as PSA 10 pricing goes on that guy. And then lastly, to end it off, we have the Umbreon from Celebrations. This card, you can see, this looks like possibly a buyout right here. Big uptick. We'll take a look at this on the 1 month. Up 90% in the last month, and a lot of sales right here on June 27th. So keep that in mind, that potential buyout happening here of 98 copies being sold on this date. Probably somebody looking to potentially grade a ton of these, I would suspect. And that did drive up the price from the $30 mark up to where we're kind of currently at in the 70s. We'll take a look right here. We'll filter these sales so you can see what we got going on. Lowest listeds right here are around, there is one at $42 currently as of this recording, but that is the only one. After that, it's around $75, which would reflect the current market price on this card. 3-month chart, pretty similar to the 1 month, if we're being honest. And then 6 month up 134%, and the 1 year looking really good, 424%. This was a $12-13 card a year ago, and you can see this did have a big uptick at the beginning of the year. That's when it shot up to around $55, and then it kind of cooled off and stagnated down around the upper 30s, lower $40 range up until recently again. So I don't know if what happened there, if there was like possibly a buyout, a lot of attention comes to the card and then people forget, but it did hold up pretty well. Even though, it didn't hold up at this $55 market, it held up comparatively rather well, set a new higher low before shooting up. So Umbreon from Celebrations, number 17 out of 17 right here with the Pikachu 25 stamp, currently around $75 raw near mint on TCG Player. And then PSA 10 pricing has been around, last sold's $350, $375. And then it looks like somebody got no, this is inaccurately listed here, but before that, 390, 400, 400, and then 240. So it looks like some big PSA 10 sales when it comes to this card. So that is what we have as far as hottest cards of the week. Magikarp leading the way. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are as far as the Magikarp in general, like the Paldea Magikarp, seeing a bit of a bounce back. And then we kind of talked about the Bubble Mew, right? Potentially seeing a leveling off point, possibly getting ready to see some upwards movement, depending. Are we going to see the Bubble Mew start to kind of follow what the Magikarp's doing? Is Magikarp leading the way, breaking out of that? Or is Paldea just kind of doing its own thing and it's separate from everything that's going on? And then the team ups. The team ups have been really cool to see. That Gengar Mimikyu is interesting to me. It's one that's kind of catching my eye. Not a card I have in my collection, obviously very expensive right now, but it has been one that I've always wanted. And of course, it's like always one of those things where it's like, you always should have picked it up when it was cheaper. But, and I just made my video about cards I was targeting for this month, and I did not have that card on my radar, but it's kind of like entering my radar again, as just, I don't have the Gengar, the alternate art, the one from Fusion Strike. So it's just like something where I was like, wow, I do like that card. So thinking about maybe picking it up in a more affordable 9 just to have in the collection. I don't know. It's just kind of one of those things. 10 pricing being very expensive, but just something I'm looking at. So that kind of is how things change as well, right? We just, because if I purchase that, that's going to change what a little bit of what I do for the month. So it's kind of funny how that works. But anyways, it's just something for myself to consider. But that's all I have for you guys in this one. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one. And remember, it was never a phase.